So we was in Colorado, and he had said something that made a lot of sense about, especially emotional people, and it made a lot of sense. It's like we always argue and everything. Not us, but people argue, and they don't think about the entire mission. So can you explain,
Yeah.
that?
So a lot of us suffer from uh, this nearsightedness and having to please our egos. So this is probably more geared towards the men, because it's something that definitely something that women do, but it just may appear differently. But I see it most commonly in our men. I've seen it in my father. I've seen it in my uncle. I've seen it in various men. I see it in some gentlemen that I associate with now. Um, but it's having such a big ego that you need that to be in control, or you need it to be catered to where when that's not happening, you angry and you frustrated and you acting out because your ego's not being um, stroked, or it's being challenged, or it just ain't got nothing to do with the situation, but you still feel a way about it, and then so you just act out and act inappropriately and act in toxic manners. And so for us as fathers, um, you're training your children to behave in a toxic manner. You're training your children that it's okay to not look at a situation and use reason and use logic and use the abilities of their higher self. You're showing them that, hey, you can just act out based off of the way that you feeling at the moment, and that's wrong. And you setting them up for failure. You setting them up for bad relationships. You setting them up for toxic and abusive situations. And you're also showing them, especially if you have girls, you showing them how a man is supposed to handle her, how it's okay to let a man mishandle them. If they see you mishandling their mother and mistreating their mother, especially if y'all not together, a man really shows a girl, his daughter, how a man treats a woman through how he treats his mother, whether they together or not, um, so that she can understand the way that a man's supposed to be, not just the way that a man is would be when he wants you and when he wants something from you, but the way that a man would be when he values you. So you have to instill into your daughters, that value and that sense of understanding that this is what a man does because he loves you and he cares for you, not because he's trying to get something from you, not because he wants what's in between your legs, not because he likes what you have to offer. None of those things. You got to put your children up on game, and if not, you're setting your daughters up to, for other souls to take advantage of them. But you got to move based off of your kingdom. It's kingdom minded leadership, and that's really the most important thing. Like, you have to, as the leader of your kingdom, of your household, your family, of your tribe, you got to make moves based off of what you want to happen for your tribe, not based off of what's happening with you, not based off of what's presented to you, or how you feel about it. You got to move off of your goals. So you don't make decisions and movements based off of your feelings. You make them based off of your goals. So if you want your family to be together, if you want this relationship to work, if you want a harmony between everyone, then you're going to have to operate not in your feelings, but in the realities that you want to create, because your habits and your behaviors is what's going to create those realities and encourage and cultivate the realities that you want. So if what you truly want is happiness and harmony, then when things come your way that might test you, you have to handle those things in the way that's going to bring happiness and harmony to your situation, and not strife and turmoil and more complications. You can, with a toxic person, if you confront them with a problem, it's going to become an argument. That argument is going to turn into a bigger problem and a bigger situation. If a person is coming from a non-toxic place and from a healthy place, that problem is going to turn into an argument, maybe, but that argument is going to turn into a conversation, and that conversation will lead to a solution. But if you're trying to steer your kingdom based off of your emotions, you're going to find yourself whipping in and out of multiple lanes and showing your children how irrational and weak of an individual you actually are, because they're watching you not be able to just take what life throws your way, and life gonna keep throwing stuff your way. So you're not gonna get to wherever your destination is if you have to keep changing your course because of what keeps coming your way, because you don't know how to deal with confrontation, or you don't know how to deal with something not going your way, or or you never healed from the pain from your ex that you have the children with. So every time they do something, you're acting out of that. I know personally, one of my daughter's moms did something that just had to do with dishonesty, and it was an act of dishonesty that then made me everything else that she would say to me afterwards. I had to question it. I had to question it, and there was a anger that I felt for her that was really an anger that I had for myself for putting her in a position to put me in the position that I found myself in. And at some point in time, some season, I felt like I was mad at her. And I handled things as if I was mad at her and acted out of that anger in some moments. But I was really mad at myself because I gave her the opportunity to get me in this position. So an angry heart is mad at itself. So most of the time, if you acting out with someone else, you mad at yourself for one reason or another. And that'll have you mishandling your life in front of your children, which is teaching them wrong. And how do you expect them to have a healthy life if you're not giving them the example? If they're not to know how a human being is supposed to treat them, love for them, and care for them, irregardless of whether they right or wrong, because love doesn't mean that I love you when you right and I love you when everything is good and I'm down for you then, and I'm going to treat you a certain way when you're doing everything that I want. Like, you got to show your children how a being that cares for them is supposed to treat them on an everyday basis, greet them in the face of opposition, how a person is supposed to deal with them when they not at their best. You have to show them those things, because no one shows you, no one showed us. And we had to learn through trial and error, and are still learning every day. And then,
I'm gonna be honest, if I can cut you off.
Go ahead.
You taught me a lot about that.
Oh.
You taught me a lot about not looking at the big picture. In our head, we can draw, in my head, I can draw up some shit. But when somebody treats you the same, peacefully, no matter how out of control your emotions are. I remember Lauren London said this. Is that her name? Mm-hmm. Lauren London said this about Nipsey. And you are the same way. It is like, no matter how emotional I might get, you still don't treat me the way I'm treating you. You just calm, and it makes me calm. It makes me like, okay, maybe I'm being irrational. So I've never experienced that before. So I do want to say thank you for teaching me that, because now I can teach my girls.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy, but it takes mindset. So make sure you do get into Manifesting University coaching program. We have 2 video calls every single month. Get in there, okay? Because what I'm learning, especially with the book, is it's not a one-time thing. It's a maintenance thing. You level up, but you always have to practice and create habits. And the way to do that is when you have people around you that will reflect that and say, hey, you ain't acting right now. Where's your mindset right now? So make sure you click the link in the bio.
Good.